Hi guys, well, a bit of a rant this morning about some of the bullshit you hear on YouTube about becoming wealthy. I'm going to be straight with you guys, I hope I always am. It is much easier for you to become wealthy if you are rich, that is to say, if you have a great job generating loads of income. It is much easier, for instance, to become wealthy if you are a surgeon rather than a plumber. And whilst some people might say factually that there are more plumber millionaires than there are surgeons, but that's just because there are more plumbers than there are surgeons. It's just statistics. Someone once said there are lies, damn lies, and statistics. It is very difficult if you're someone like me on minimum wage to become wealthy. It is hard. So why don't the financial gurus say that? Well, that's because it's not what people want to hear, is it? Now, occasionally when I'm sat in the toilet and my wife has some magazines, normally something like Take a Break or Chat by my feet, I pick one up and I read it. And again, occasionally there's something about becoming wealthy or saving money in there. And I look at the editor's email address and I send them an email and say something like, hey, I wonder if your readers would be interested in a guy who's becoming a millionaire on minimum wage. And they'll come back and they say, yes, they would be interested. How are you doing it? And when I explain that I have to work between 60 and 80 hours a day, they'll then come back and say, well, I don't think our readers will like that. No shit. I don't like it. It sucks. But if you don't have a lot of money, it's what you've got to do to become wealthy. And so instead, what Chat or Take a Break do will publish a nice little article on how you can feed your family on 1 loaf and 2 fish, or how you can become this year's super coupon counter. But that's not how you become wealthy. Become wealthy on low wage isn't easy. It's bloody well hard. And YouTube's the same. You'll get fed the usual BS about how to become wealthy from property in 3 easy steps, or how to use your credit cards to become wealthy, or save your way to a fortune. But the reality is you can't save your way to a fortune. It's going to take a massive amount of work and effort. I mean, the reality, because you're probably living it, is that you can't save half your salary on 1 wage. And that's because most people struggle to meet all their bills on 1 wage. So the only way you do it, the only way you can become wealthy is to generate more income. So it's going to be hard, but you have to be prepared for that because it's the only honest way you're going to do it. I'm an example of that. In fact, the reason I'm making all these videos is to prove an example of how someone on minimum wage can become wealthy, a millionaire in 10 years. But it is difficult. I'm 3.5 years into the project now, but for my first 2 years, I worked 363 days a year. I only took 2 days off each year for 2 years, Christmas Day and Boxing Day. And even now, when I've bought 3 rental properties, I still take 1 day off a week. I'm still working 6 days a week. In fact, this is my day off here, if you call it the day off. It is difficult, it is hard, but it's got to be done. You have to put the work in order to become wealthy. There is no way of getting around it. You can't, despite what YouTubers and the chat magazines will tell you, you can't save your way to do it. There is no easy way to do it. So if you're flicking through YouTube and you see a bit of clickbait that says 3 easy ways to become wealthy in property or whatever, then you can watch that, but you won't learn anything because they won't tell you how to do it, because it's hard, because it's not what you want to hear, is it? I mean, who would buy a course entitled How to Get Wealthy the Hard Way? It wouldn't sell much, would it? And by the way, it's the reason that Napoleon Hill wrote his book and called it Think and Grow Rich, because if he called it Work Freaking Hard and Go Rich, nobody would have bought it. And if you ever did see a book called Work Freaking Hard and Go Rich, I would buy it, because at least it would be honest, and at least you'd find out how to become wealthy. The honest, genuine, real way, the only way. Honesty is a rare commodity on YouTube, but I'm happy with honest. And maybe that's why I don't get as many subscribers as other YouTubers who've been doing YouTube less than me. It's because I'm honest. I try not to sugarcoat it. So I like honest. It allows me to sleep at night when I find the time. Don't be stupid and don't be normal, guys.